And if you find this information valuable, give us a thumbs up and share this video with anyone in your community who's navigating the immigration process. Trust me, they'll thank you for it. Now, let's get right into what the February 2026 Visa Bulletin means for family-based and employment-based green card applicants. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services has released the February 2026 Visa Bulletin, and it's packed with information that affects thousands of families and workers across the country and around the world. For those of you who might be new to this process, the Visa Bulletin is published monthly by the State Department, and it determines when applicants can move forward in their green card process based on their priority date and category. Understanding these dates is absolutely critical because they determine whether you can file your adjustment of status application or when your immigrant visa interview might be scheduled. Let's start by talking about the family-based preference categories, which are designed to help U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents bring their family members to the United States. The family-based system is divided into several categories, and each one moves at a different pace depending on demand and annual visa limits. For the first preference category, which covers unmarried adult children of U.S. citizens, we're seeing some interesting movement. For most countries, except those with high demand, like China, India, Mexico, and the Philippines, the priority dates are advancing. This is encouraging news for families who have been separated for years, waiting for their chance to reunite. However, applicants from countries with historically high immigration numbers are still facing significant backlogs. The reality is that per-country limits create a situation where your country of birth can dramatically impact how long you wait, regardless of when you applied. The second preference category, which is split into two subcategories, continues to show the complexity of the family-based system. The 2A category for spouses and minor children of lawful permanent residents typically moves faster than other categories because it receives a larger allocation of visas. The 2B category for unmarried adult children of permanent residents moves more slowly. What we're seeing in February 2026 is that the 2A category is showing decent forward movement for most countries, which is positive news for families trying to stay together. However, the 2B category remains heavily backlogged, particularly for applicants from high-demand countries where wait times can extend into decades. The third preference category for married children of U.S. citizens continues to face some of the longest wait times in the entire immigration system. This category has always been challenging because it serves a large population while receiving a relatively small number of available visas each year. The February bulletin shows minimal movement in this category, which is frustrating for the thousands of families waiting. For applicants from countries like Mexico, India, and the Philippines, the wait times in this category can be particularly devastating, sometimes exceeding 20 years from the initial petition filing. The fourth preference category for siblings of U.S. citizens remains one of the most backlogged categories in the entire immigration system. The February 2026 bulletin shows that priority dates in this category are moving very slowly, with some countries seeing dates that go back to the early 2000s or even earlier. This creates an almost impossible situation for families where, by the time a visa becomes available, family circumstances may have changed dramatically. Children who were minors when the petition was filed may have aged out and, in some tragic cases, petitioners or beneficiaries may have passed away during the lengthy waiting period. Now let's shift our focus to the employment-based preference categories, which serve as the pathway for skilled workers, professionals, and investors to obtain permanent residency in the United States. The employment-based system has been under tremendous strain in recent years, particularly affecting applicants from India and China, who make up a significant portion of employment-based green card applicants. The EB1 category for priority workers, which includes individuals with extraordinary ability, outstanding professors and researchers, and certain multinational executives, has traditionally been the fastest-moving employment category. However, even this premium category has experienced backlogs in recent years. The February 2026 bulletin shows that while EB1 remains current for most countries, meaning visas are immediately available, applicants from India and China are facing wait times that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. This represents a significant shift in the employment-based landscape and reflects the overwhelming demand from highly skilled workers seeking permanent residency. The EB2 category for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional ability has become one of the most challenging categories for Indian and Chinese nationals. The February bulletin reveals that Indian EB2 applicants are dealing with priority dates that are years behind, creating a situation where highly skilled professionals are locked into their jobs and unable to pursue entrepreneurial opportunities or career advancement that might jeopardize their green card applications. Chinese EB2 applicants face similar challenges, though typically with slightly shorter wait times than their Indian counterparts. For the rest of the world, EB2 remains in better shape, but demand is increasing across all countries as more professionals seek permanent residency. The EB3 category for skilled workers, professionals, and other workers presents its own set of challenges. What's particularly interesting about the February 2026 bulletin is how the EB3 dates compare to EB2 dates for certain countries. Due to the visa allocation system and demand patterns, we sometimes see situations where EB3 priority dates are more current than EB2 dates, leading some applicants to consider downgrading from EB2 to EB3 to potentially receive their green cards faster. This counterintuitive situation reflects the complexity and sometimes arbitrary nature of the current system. For Indian nationals in the EB3 category, the wait times have become extraordinarily long, with priority dates going back well over a decade. This creates a generation of workers who are stuck in immigration limbo, unable to change jobs freely, start their own companies, or make long-term plans with certainty. The human cost of these backlogs cannot be overstated. We're talking about families where children are aging out of dependent status, where career advancement is stalled, and where the American dream feels increasingly out of reach despite following all the rules and waiting patiently. The EB4 category for special immigrants and the EB5 category for immigrant investors also show movement in the February bulletin, though these categories serve smaller populations. The EB5 program has undergone significant reforms in recent years, and we're seeing how those changes are affecting visa availability and wait times. One crucial aspect of understanding the Visa Bulletin is the difference between the final action date and the dates for filing chart. The final action date determines when your priority date must be current before you can actually receive your green card or immigrant visa. The dates for filing chart, when in effect, allows you to file your adjustment of status application even if your final action date isn't current yet. This gives applicants the benefit of filing for work authorization and travel documents while they continue waiting for their final green card approval. USCIS announces each month whether they'll accept applications based on the dates for filing chart, and this decision can significantly impact your ability to gain stability while waiting. The February 2026 bulletin also reminds us of the fundamental challenges in the current immigration system. The per-country limits mean that your country of birth, rather than your qualifications or how long you've waited, often determines your timeline. This creates situations where, someone from a low-demand country might receive their green card in just a few months, while someone with identical qualifications from India or China might wait decades. Many immigration advocates argue that this system is fundamentally unfair and needs comprehensive reform. Looking at the trends from recent bulletins, including February 2026, we can see that the backlogs are not resolving themselves. Without legislative action to increase visa numbers, eliminate or raise per-country caps, or create new pathways to permanent residency, millions of applicants will continue facing uncertain futures. Some proposed reforms include eliminating employment-based per-country limits, recapturing unused visa numbers from previous years, and allowing certain applicants who have been waiting extremely long periods to move forward regardless of their priority date. For applicants watching their priority dates in the bulletin each month, the emotional toll cannot be underestimated. Each bulletin brings hope that maybe this month will bring significant movement, followed often by disappointment when dates move forward by only days or weeks, or sometimes even retrogress backward. This monthly cycle of hope and frustration has become a defining feature of the immigration experience for hundreds of thousands of people. So there you have it, a comprehensive breakdown of the February 2026 Visa Bulletin and what it means for both family-based and employment-based green card applicants. The reality is that while some categories are seeing forward movement, many applicants are still facing long waits due to systemic backlogs and per-country limitations. If your priority date is approaching current status, now is the time to make sure all your documents are in order and you're ready to move forward the moment you become eligible. If you're facing a long wait, stay informed about potential legislative reforms and make sure you're working with qualified immigration attorneys who can help you navigate any options that might be available. Here at USA State, we're committed to keeping you updated on every Visa Bulletin release and breaking down exactly what these changes mean for you and your family. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps us reach more people who need this information. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on because immigration policy and visa bulletins can change quickly, and you want to be among the first to know when important updates drop. Share this video with friends, family members, or colleagues who are navigating the immigration system because knowledge is power when it comes to understanding your options and timeline. Drop a comment below and let us know what category you're in and how long you've been waiting. Building a community where we can support each other through this process is so important, and if you have specific questions about your situation, while we can't provide individual legal advice, your comments help us understand what topics to cover in future videos.